title of the video is going to be Beer Eats Margarita. Awesome, all over my face. All right, welcome to Nashville Art Makers. It's a great start. My name is Ronnie Chris, and we're really glad to have my good friend Dooby Tomkins, William Dooby Tomkins, here in the house. Great Nashville artist, and we're just gonna, like we normally do, sit down and talk a little bit and find a little more out about Dooby. How you doing?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Well, you got it. Thanks for coming by and having some nice chips here at the Fiesta Azteca.
Chips and beer, man. You can't do
That's right.
You can't do wrong with that.
So I've always liked your work, and I know you really well because we obviously work together. But I have an interesting question to start us off. Why did Batman steal third?
Why did Batman steal third?
Yeah.
You're supposed to tell me.
I'm supposed to tell you.
You're supposed to tell me. That's the whole makeup of
That's
it.
awesome. Okay, so if I'm supposed to come up with why Batman stole third, can you tell me what brought about that piece of work? For you, like what?
It's an amalgam of imagery and text and ideas that I like to throw together to force, or attempt to force each individual to address it.
To a sense, like, I might be getting metaphysical here or something, but how different.
Talk about whatever.
Yeah. Like light refracts differently through different prisms, right? Like from different angles.
Sure.
So
each person's a different prism. Is the idea, you know?
It's based on where they come from and what they're carrying within.
Right.
They see it. It equals that.
Right. Hey, not to be dark or graphic, but if your mother was murdered on top of a pile of Batman comics or something, you're going to view it a lot differently than someone who grew up watching the 60s cartoons. It's like, oh, great.
Very cool, very cool. Go through a little bit of the majority of the works that we're focusing on in the blog are paintings. Can you go through a little bit of your process of painting, what gets you there, and the materials you use, and the way you go about it as a painter?
Sure. Materials I use, I'll start with. I use, anything from household paint to professional oil paints. I like to mix and match. A lot of my underlayers are acrylics, and they dry faster, and it's just easy to work with. And then a lot of the times I use oils because you can get richer colors on top of that. I derive most of my source material from all over. If I see a pattern I like here at a Mexican restaurant, I might take a picture of it and try and use it in painting later. Or if I flip into a magazine and see an image I like a hand or something, anything, then I might take that. It's very vampiric. I do a lot of collage. Like pre-work collage to kind of get an idea. But it also helps to be able to rescale things differently, you know what I mean? So what would this look like if it was huge,
So you would say that you probably, before let's say you do a painting that's 30 by 30 or whatever, a large painting, you may do a small, almost thumbnail collage to give you some ideas.
Sometimes.
Loosely,
Sometimes loosely, yeah. A lot of times more, I'll gather the images and kind of sketch out maybe an idea of how I want it to appear or work. And then other times, to be totally honest, other times I'll start with something that I just find that I really like and work around that. So, it's a little bit of a push and pull as far as that goes.
Okay. If you look at your artwork, immediately what people will notice, without a doubt, is they're going to start to see elements of pop culture.
Sure.
So, how does pop culture influence your work, or you, which then influences me?
Oh man, well, especially in this day and age, I think where all of us made up of a lot of pop culture. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I probably know a lot more pop cultural references than I do, history. But, it's all about being able to connect with, or to feel some sort of connection, relativity through something.
Okay.
I mean, even if it's something that's a billboard that you and I might have both driven by.
Sure.
And then there's a connection, but then that prism, as you called it, acts as a central connection that connects us.
What
And it's also a way of, universalizing the work a little bit.
Sure.
Anyone can relate to it.
Okay. The other thing that I noticed in your work, which, well, I say that with a grain because, like you said, again, it's something I might notice, but it may not necessarily be there because of the way it's presented. But sometimes there's elements of politics that sort of might be sort of woven into the fray of the work. How important is politics to you in regards to your artwork or what you're trying to say?
The longer I've done it, the less I would say it's probably become important.
Okay.
Just as I've become less interested in politics, probably.
Sure.
But, there's definitely some sneaky, subtle little things in there that, probably any artist puts in that, maybe 90% of the people, might be totally in your face where you see, where that's the main figure, or it might be a little bit more overt that you may not notice, so.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'd say it's not terribly important. Either, it's more about how you feel about it. So,
sure.
So you could come in and see a picture of Hillary Clinton and say, "Wow, I love this. It's Hillary Clinton." Or you can come in and see it and be like, "Oh, he painted that." It's just like looking at any portrait. You could say, "Oh, look at that evil man," or "Look at that great figure of history."
Depending on who you are,
right,
and how you see the world,
right.
Another kind of going in a fun direction. I like to have fun questions. If you had the opportunity to be a working painter artist in a different decade, or if you really feel the need to go back in the centuries, that's fine.
I'm building a DeLorean.
If you're building a DeLorean, you're ready to go. Besides this one, obviously, or being a working artist now, what would you think would be a really great time for you to be in Ghost?
Me, being an artist? Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. I think probably I feel really related to my time now.
Okay.
As we get more and more media and more media friendly. Yeah. Everyone has their iPod with 1,000 songs on it, and everybody has their laptop. It seems like we're being more and more inundated with this kind of confusion almost of imagery and sound and text, that becomes this other form.
Sure.
And that's what I try to express, I guess, in my art.
Do you feel pretty at home with it now?
I feel pretty at home with it. Yeah, I mean, sure. It would have been cool to, be in the 60s or 70s or something. But
sure. Sometimes
maybe that's for different reasons. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be for sure. Sometimes it's interesting because I think we all feel pretty. I think we all have a little bit of fun at home in our time, and sometimes not feeling at home.
Sure. That's true too. Ask me on a different day. It would be.
But it's definitely interesting to think about other times and what could it be like to work in that time, to have the restrictions that they have, but also have the freedoms that they have.
Right. Sure. It would have been great to be the first person to ever think, doing it in a smart way, But
yeah, exactly. Right. And the question is, would you?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, I don't. In a way, I don't. I mean, kind of think originality is dead. If that makes sense. So,
what makes you? Just because you said it, like, what makes you feel that? Like, what signs do you have that make you feel that originality is dead?
A lot of things. I mean, the only thing I feel like the only thing we're doing in this day and age is restructuring and reconfiguring things that already exist. If that makes sense.
It's almost like taking something and really just taking all the pictures that everybody else has put together and just breaking them apart and gluing them back together a little bit.
In a sense. I mean, not just pictures necessarily, but ideas.
Well, that's what I mean.
Philosophies or even political views, things like that. All seem to have become this strange web where
But now,
where you pick and choose. Nothing's in a linear fashion anymore. It's all all over the place a little bit. So and I feel like people's brains almost work like that now probably more than they used to.
do you think that is the? Do you think that is it a chicken versus the egg situation? Do you think that people's brains work that way because of this, or do you think because of this, that's why now people think that way?
It's hard to say. I mean, you get into a lot of like socio-economic and political issues,
Yeah.
and part of it is living in America too. I mean,
Sure, it's different.
in a third world country, it might be completely different. We're probably not inundated with this media, so maybe I definitely feel like I'm an American artist, if that makes any sense. I can
Sure.
only reflect to an extent what's around me or what I'm used to in a way. It's the only thing I guess I feel comfortable with.